Okay, so today's video is going to be really simple. It's more something really specific, and it can be related to changing the alternator. But the thing I'm going to talk about is actually the fuse box and how to reconnect it. In my video where I changed the alternator, I check in the comments, and I got 2 or 3 people that said the car is not starting, or I got power but something is off, the lights, different light works, others doesn't, everything's off. Usually when you get that kind of problem, there's a big chance there's a problem under your fuse box. So what I'll do, I'll remove the fuse box and I'll show you guys how to reconnect the fuse box properly. And I am really sorry, because I just realized when I did the alternator or generator removal, I didn't look at the part when I was doing the fuse box, and when I looked at the video, it is a complete mess. I didn't realize that when I show exactly the pins and everything. That I think what happened, I tried to sync the video so my hand will shake less, and instead we got that weird case that flips around and zooms in and zooms out. It is a complete mess. So what I'll do an actual good video about this, and I'll try to link it. So be aware of this, and if somebody just need to remove the fuse box for a reason or another to reach the inner fender, well, you'll get that video too. So what I'll do, I'll remove this. So the first step will be, of course, to remove the battery. So positive, negative, we're going to remove that. After that, we'll come back to the fuse box, and I'll show again how to remove it step by step. It's kind of a repeat, but I prefer to do one where it's actually really obvious how to do it. I'm really not proud of the other one. So let's do this. So the first thing, let's remove the battery. So what I did, I use a 10 millimeter a socket deep enough to get the top of those bolts on top of the battery. As you can see, you don't need to remove them completely, of course. And you see, that'd be a good time for me to clean it. So that means maybe I'm starting to lose a bit of connection with my post. So clean it up, sandpaper. You can use a bit of Vaseline for that, to clean it. Not to clean it, but to do a ground, or contact grease can do the job. Just make sure not to put any kind of grease, because some grease doesn't let the electricity go. So you really need to do contact grease or Vaseline if you want to protect your post and prevent that kind of accumulation at the bottom or inside. The other bolt that I removed is actually the one in the back. As you see, I didn't remove it either. And that was a 13 deep socket, 13 millimeter. The only reason I removed the battery is just to give me a bit of place to take the fuse box and actually flip it right there. The wires, I would not disconnect the whole thing, so I'll just push it to the side. So okay, so I'll find my screwdriver, because I don't find it, because we'll need it to remove that top part. So I'll be right back. Good enough. I found it. So okay, so the first thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna bend this just to hide it to the side. And the reason I want to tell you about the screwdriver is because sometimes they're really stiff. You can do it with your finger. You just need to get your hand right there, and logically, if you push, you see how it moves, but it can be really stiff. So if you use a screwdriver and you slide it right there and you bend it, see how well it goes? So you just need to do that. And with another screwdriver, do the same on the other side. So this time I'm going to use my fingers. Mine is pretty soft, but just to let you know, you may need at least 2 screwdrivers to disconnect one side. Make sure you keep a pressure from that side, and do the same on that side. As you can see, I'm not bad. I got small hands, so I can actually fit there. But for somebody that got big fingers, that could be a pain. So we'll remove that, put it to the side. So the first thing we'll do, as you can see, I actually didn't clean it. I was supposed to clean it and didn't do it. Don't do what I do what I say. We'll disconnect this bracket first. and this one. And after that, we'll move to those two bolts that are in the back. If I remember, they're 10 millimeters. So we'll move and I'll show you guys how to do it. And okay. So the only thing you need to do to remove this bracket, you got two pins like these on each side that you need to squeeze. That side and that side, as you can see. You need to squeeze them and pull up. As you pull up, there's that little white pin right there that needs to slide from there to that side. Now it's completely nearly disconnected. So why you need to do that? You see right there, there's some kind of plastic nail. So when you lift it up, just disconnect this, you see, there is the entrance for it. So what happened, you need actually to slide it. Now it's all crooked. Wait, I'll try to, it's all sideways. I'll try to, there we go. So we'll need to actually make it click on this side too. I'll work with it later. So basically when you lift it as high as you can, so this bottom part, this top part will be flush with that bottom part when it's fully connected. And it's the same type of bracket that are under the fuse box. There's those little groove, but if you're not fully extended and you see your pin halfway on the side of that bracket, this will not connect. Even if it feels that's inside of it and it feels connected, it will not slide in properly and you can bend your pins. And that is the warning that I need to give you guys. This is why I want to remake this part of the video, and this is why I'm making this video. Make sure when it's time to reinstall the whole thing, you'll need your two hands. Make sure you push the bracket as lower as you can, the inside bracket, the white bracket, and make sure that those completely click to the side. I think the other side actually clicked. Maybe not. So anyways, so later on, we'll make sure that this is proper. Okay, so I may do the video for, it's going to be one of the first time I do that. Usually I just go one step and I don't show the step backward. But for this one, I'm going to extend till I reconnect that one before stopping the video. So, okay, so disconnect, you need to lift that black part as high as you can until it clicks on both sides. Just be careful because when it's connected, your wires are kind of bent. So you don't want to pull your plastic over those wires, right? Old wires have a tendency to break, so make sure you got enough space to do so. If you need more space, this cable is usually attached with a black, that's a zip tie, but usually it's a white bracket that you can easily remove with a screwdriver, a flat screwdriver. But that's how to remove that one. For this one, to the side, it's pretty easy. It's a really common type. You just squeeze the top part and you pull it out. Make sure again not to pull on the wire. As you see, it's not holding by much. And for those two bolts, they're 10 millimeters. You just need to unscrew them. Make sure you unscrew them completely. And a safe spot can be under your battery. If you got the full box, you can actually put it inside that plastic box where the batteries sit. On mine, I don't have it. The previous owner removed it for a reason or another. So we'll just put my bolts right there, not to lose them. So safe spot. So what I'll do now, I'll move to the next part, that is to remove those two brackets, but I need to light up a cigar. So they just give me like 0.5 seconds for you guys. For me, it's like 2 minutes. So I got my cigar, I'm all happy now. So the next part is to remove the top part of that fuse box. To do so, what you need to do, you got those little pins right there, those little plastic tabs, and you need to squeeze them on both sides at the same time. You got that side and this side. This side. And the way it is, that bottom part is part of the holder of the fuse box, but that top part with those holes actually is connected to the old fuse box. Don't know if you can see that move. So you can actually squeeze with your fingers and get your other fingers at the bottom there just like so, and you can pull up, and you do the same thing on both. So I'll do that off video because I need my 2 hands for that. The only thing I did for the wires and the connector, they were attached there, so I just lift them up. And if you didn't remove that zip tie or that connector, whatever, hold up the wires, you can disconnect it, and this will let you flip the whole things on the other side of this plate. And that's going to empty all your area to work carefully, so that's going to be helpful. So okay, so I'll lift up the fuse box and I'll show you the rest. So when you remove the top part of the fuse box, make sure to pull it as straight as possible, because those brackets should stay connected to the bottom. There's little pin, as you can see right there and there, that hold them down. So when you pull off the fuse box, make sure to pull it straight, because those pins are extremely tiny and easy to break. There's a good casing that I give them that. GM did a good job for that, because the fact it's so high, you're really disconnected by the time usually that bracket is loose. But if it was shorter and it's not completely disconnected and you go sideways, you could bend all of them, and that's going to be a pain to replace it. So for that's pretty easy, so I just put that to the side. So right now, as you can see, we got back those little legs right there. Sorry, I'm shaking. Those little legs are still there, and as you can see, that little pin is still there too, right? You see it moving at the bottom right there? So this will need to be slide completely to the extremity right there, and that is going to be up, completely up with that opening to connect to those plastic pins that looks like small nails. So what we'll do from now, we'll get the screwdriver and we will remove it. So to remove it, as you can see, there is a slot in your box right there where you can actually fit the screwdriver. Oh, I'll just put it sideways. And that will give you access to the bottom part of that clip and push it to disconnect and lift it up. At the same time you lift it up, on that side, there is 2 small pins at the bottom right there. One there and one there. Click it back, sorry. So you'll just need, with 2 fingers, pull them towards the white plastic and lift it up like this. Simple as that. You clip it and you lift it. Simple as this. And with the screwdriver, you do the same thing on the other side. Oop, kind of missed that one. And I clicked it again. Okay, it's pretty hard with the one hand, but I think this one is already, yeah. So I'll show you. So the goal is to reach that tab at the bottom. See, there's the first tab. You want to reach that one with the screwdriver and squeeze it. At the same time, you got those 2 tabs in the back, and those are the one that you pull toward the towards the plastic to, or push towards the plastic to lift it up. So now, since it's completely loose, well, if you're removing it for the alternator, then you can actually move it to the side and gain access to the 3 last bolt. There is one there, there is one under here, and one in that corner. Once you remove them, that old box will be removed easily, and then you get that full access to continue with the removal of the alternator and just follow the other steps of my video. But for now, the main purpose of this is to really show you how those pins are supposed to work. So if wait, I'm just trying to get it as straight as possible. So your first step will be to make this top connector as straight as possible. So you'll need to play a bit with it until it actually connects. And I guess I won't be able to do it with one hand, just to, So with 2 hands, you'll push that one down to try to reset it in place. And at the same time, you'll pull that one. So what you can do, you can actually push on that one and this one at the same time and try to, I clicked it again. Okay, I'll do it with one hand with two hands. So I'll just stop the video and I'll show you how I did it. Okay, be right back. Okay, there. Both of them are clicked. I kind of lied because pretty sure they was supposed to be further than that, but anyways. So as you can see now, they're completely straight. And if I push them, right, they're not moving. It is completely stiff. So what you do to achieve that, you will need to bend that wire just a bit, just towards the bottom. It's going to be hard to show you guys. So basically, you need to pull that wire down at the same time as you pull on the top part. So bend that wire just a bit. You can push a bit, and at the same time with the other finger, pull on it. It's a bit tedious. Don't lose patience. Just bend it a bit and just wiggle them a bit at the same time as you pull on this part. And you will hear that click. To confirm it, then you can actually press on it. And if you see it doesn't move, that means they're properly installed. So at that part, when it's like this, really stiff, then you can actually put them back in the box, or you can connect them back straight to the pins and then lower it down. The only problem if you do that, it's going to be hard to reinstall those wires properly, because since they're connected and your fuse box is going to be sideways and you're trying to pull it straight, and those wires are really big and thick, so it's going to be harder. So what I suggest is to do that. Just once it's connected, slide them back in. As you see, they still don't move. They're really stiff. And that means those little hooks are in position to receive that nail, that plastic part that is right there. And from there, you just need to push it down equally, really straight. If you feel there's too much resistance, take a 5-second, remove it, check it just to make sure. Just make sure that you're in, everything is in the perfect position to receive those pins. So make sure this is well connected, straight, still solid, well connected on both sides, stiff, so we're good to go. There it seems pretty in line, so that should do the work. So that is what can cause a lot of problem for you guys. For those that may have bent the pins, I hope you can actually unbend them. Working with a fuse box is actually not, how can I say that, a mechanical work. It's more a precision work. It's not just blunt force and we go in. When you work with that, you want to be safe. The ECM, the fuse box, and those kind of electric component, just be careful. I do not want you to rush it. I know when you're doing a big job, at the end of it, you're tired, you just want to get done with it. Just be patient. If mechanical work teach me something, if body work, really extreme body work, what it taught me is to be patient until the end. If you skip a step, you may get in a lot of problem, and for the money you're gonna waste trying to fix those problems after, it's not worth the 2-minute extra. If you're out of patience, leave it there. If you're late for work, call the boss, say, listen, I'm gonna be maybe 30 minutes late. I'm just trying to fix my car. I'm gonna come in. Okay, I'm just gonna be a bit late. It's just a mechanical problem. Show him a picture. Pretty sure he's gonna be impressed with that. So anyways, so what I'll do, I'll reconnect this. So I'll put it over and I'll push it back straight and I'll film that. So I'll be right back. So like I told you, when, I'm shaking a lot there. Sorry about that. So when you pull it back in, like I said, make sure you put it straight. It will have a tendency to sink on that side easily and you'll finish sideways like that. You do not want that. Make sure that you kind of force the frontal part where it connects to the pin. Well, force. Just make sure you put a bit more pressure, wiggle it a bit if you have to, then push down. If you feel this one sink, lift it up again and keep going by doing a bit of pressure like this, and try to move it as straight as possible and drop it down. and you will hear that click. And that click is when those two pins that we squeezed earlier land into position. So right now, I seem to be at the right place. And how to know if you're in the right deepness? There's that little hook. Oh, I'm gonna focus on it. That little hook right there. That hook should go over this. If it's not over this, you're not low enough. And if it feels too stiff to get it lower than that, that means something is wrong. Remove the top part again and take your time. Just make sure that you do it right on the first time. Not the first time, but you know what I mean. Better do it a few times and make it right one time than actually force it and break it. And after that, you're wrong for the life of this part anyways. So, okay. So now that we're done, we can actually bring back the wires. Whoops, I should bring those first. Come here, Nick. So those will come here. And as you see at the back part, whoop, we'll go around. For me, I need to slide it lower than this bracket right there. So just need to push it so it can fit beside it. There we go. Whoops, I did it a bit too much strength. Really surprised I can say that for me. There we go. So you need to go lower than that bracket right there. You see it now? So if it's installed there, it's going to be easy to put it back. As you can see, I could actually clean that, put some Vaseline or whatnot, but the connection is fine, so I'm not going to do it. If you put Vaseline or contact grease, do not put too much. You don't want grease to go all over that box, all right? Just a little notch, just to say a little drop, if you have to, right? Only if you have to, but you shouldn't have to. So we're going to do this. We'll come back. As you see this one, I try to squeeze it really solid. That means the white bracket inside of it is completely extended as much as it can, and it click into place. That means those little, I'll call them hooks, are will be in line with those little dots right there. So we'll flip it over. We'll just put it back in line. There we go. And take your time. See, it is pretty even with it. So I think we're good just to push it in. Whoop. Just to make sure that I slide it in. Whoop. Sorry. That's one of the reasons why I don't film when I'm working, because the camera jiggles around. If I had a GoPro or something like that, I could actually like film myself really working, but I can't. I do not have the funds for that. And there we go. So once this white plastic is well connected, you'll see that white pin completely slide to the left, and that means the hook is secured and everything's in place. Make sure to push that black bracket afterward until it clicks, and you will see it is completely secured. Try to pull on it, not on the wires, but on that black bracket, and we're good. From there, we can reconnect this part. Like I said, do not touch the wire if you can. Just push on the white bracket. It is connected. So the only thing I'll need to do is put that up back on, those little bolts that I saved to the side. And here we go. So I'll use the 10mm to screw that back on. I'll be able to put back my cover over it. And after that, I'll be able to reconnect the battery. So I really hope this will help a few people, because I'm starting to believe that this was one of the problems that some people have when they're working with the fuse box and they have a problem to reinstall it. And they say, I saw a post, I don't remember where, it's Hummer forums or something like that. And one of the guys said, I can't reinstall the fuse box and I don't understand why. Some people says, move the wires, they must be in the way, etc. But there is a big possibility that it's because they didn't pull enough on those brackets at the bottom until they click into place, to make sure that when you push your fuse box in it, the pins will actually center right in the right place. So on this, I hope it's gonna help you guys. I'm supposed to post, it's been a little while, supposed to post a video about the ignitions pickup coil, sorry, just in case they fry, etc. I got a video coming in for that. So anyway, so on this is what it is. I hope it's gonna help you guys, and cheers.